I'd like to welcome HPG Brands to the table. And I am so excited to be here with three amazing people from an amazing company. We have Alyssa Baker, Mel B, and the famous Nick Latour. Greetings, folks.
Hey.
My view is that the distributor succeeded in pulling off two miracles in 2020. The first miracle was simply seeing a B2B industry survive in a global shutdown. How did HPG navigate and survive 2020?
So when the pandemic really, started to come to a head, we weren't making a panic-driven decision. We were taking our team paired with technology, and we were leveraging the power of Zoom, the power of all of these virtual tools that we had available, and we created essentially our own virtual-based trade show that ended up being the number one success that HPG can say that we are proud of in 2020, among other things. We wanted something that we could also say is a sustainable option. I think now, we can pretty much agree that we don't necessarily need roads to go where we're going. We can still continue to use the tools that we have here.
We work for millennials now because our marketing team, took charge, and these young marketeers, they take over, and it really does make a difference.
And I have a different perspective. And to your question, how did HPG navigate through this thing? I was actually not with the company when the pandemic started, and my mindset went to kind of where HPG's mindset already was. It's like, how do we survive? How do we show value in a time that none of us are used to? Nobody knows what to do. And I watched HPG from afar, which is part of the reason I came on. I watched the virtual trade shows happen and how well produced they were and how effective they were in a distanced world. And that was, like, to me, I had so much admiration. So the opportunity to come work here at a company that has top-notch marketing team, and as Melissa said, is just like really focused on being the best and having the number one offer of any supplier, was just like a dream come true for me to come on and help the team to really show that value.
How many of these adjustments do you guys expect will become commonplace in a post-COVID world?
So that's when we talk about marketing. I will seriously say, like, COVID hit, and within a week, I had from marketing a new camera, a new snowball, a new mic, a light ring. And so our entire national team, before we went live, had like an entire setup that we all did training together to figure out how to even connect to our, so we legit, like, from Ben Posse, were, sent all this great equipment for us to look 10 years younger on camera.
Has 2020 affected the types of new products that you guys are introducing? Or if not new products, are there new ways to discuss existing products that you see having resonance with buyers?
I'll definitely say that it is a mix of both. During the height of COVID, it was all about taking what we had and finding new purpose, to the products that we have been selling, for a long time. We had to really think about how we could take a product and create it for more of a nutshell, living environment where people were, limited to being either under their own roofs or, just out in their backyard. Whether it's, writing instruments, how can we take that and make it an essential item?
Like, when I run to the garage with my wall of samples and, what is it that I'm going to grab today? And typically for me, I'd laugh. I always grab my beacon samples. I grab my spatula because I'm making sandwiches for my kids, or I'm grabbing a wood cutting board because I probably use a cutting board 3 times a day. And as we're at home and we're not traveling in airports, then it really starts to resonate, like, what product is really truly successful with branding. And it is really the useful product that we use every single day in our lives. And how about that? I have so much of that in my HPG family. So there's, it resonates even more when this is what we do in our daily lives, is selling promo. And where are you going to put that logo to create branding excellence in the home? And now we have a lot more success stories to share with our customers because we're living life differently. We're living life based off of wellness. I mean, we're using yoga mats we're using light rings. I'm looking at you right now with a light ring and a camera, and we're launching that with Oregadio, the new McStreamy. The first time the light ring showed up at my house, my daughter thought I got it for her for TikTok. And I'm like, no, that's for mom for work. So again, we're evolving, and we're adding antimicrobial products. We're adding moisturizer beads to hand sanitizer. But again, it's been an involvement on product. And I'll let Nick take the last part of this, because we've got some exciting news with some new products that are actually going to be launched before the end of the year.
We've got 10 brands that range anywhere from self-care to pens to the best tech products to food products. So I'll kind of chime in on the idea that we launched a company called Batch and Bodega last year that was we could call it a promo food company, but it's really so much more, because we all know and we've all learned, it's all been sort of really ingrained in us this past year, how emotional marketing can be, and how much feelings and perception can play into brand awareness and brand value, really. So when we launched Batch and Bodega, which was just a higher level food experience, really, with promo mixed in, with logos printed and everything, and the presentation was 100%, like that was the way that we were able to pivot, generally at HPG, to go, this is the offer you can give to your customer to make them feel connected, to make them feel special, and to make your brand like an integral part of their life, really, through the Batch and Bodega line of food with no minimums, right? So we can drop ship one piece with a custom note with a logo and make it really personal and really special. I think that's the really one of the big wins for us last year too, to add on to what Mel and Alyssa were talking about. But then now, taking into the future, as Alyssa mentioned, we are launching new products now. We're seeing a resurgence in bags because no one was traveling last year. We have the best bags, but how do we now take a bag that people can use now and add some new tech products from Hansen's and Oregadio, or some other new travel gear from some of our other brands? And how can we use pens in a different way, getting back out into public? We have really great new setups for, single-use pen containers and ways to get back out into public, but also to keep kind of keep our distance to still be safe. So hashtag keep the pen. Yes.
Everyone is talking about supply chain and importing challenges. This is being felt by both suppliers and distributors. What do you see as being the best approach that we can all take to ensure that these challenges are not being felt by our buyers?
Rule number one, procrastination equals desperation. We don't want our distributors to, be in a position where they're all of a sudden stuck and they need to supply their customer with really great products. We want to be able to help them. So just enforcing the fact that, we want you to think about the holidays now in the summertime, even 2 months ago. Get on our backs. Let us know what you are working on. Let's get ahead of your projects so we can stay on target, with deadlines, knowing that we are going to get, that pushback with, product coming in from overseas. The other way that we have also attacked this is by doubling up on all of our A and B best-selling items. So we are generally always known for having, safety stock. So, customers know us, like I'm going to plug Hub here. Hey, I need a 50,000 piece pen order and I need that turned around in 5 days. Can you be my hero? Yes, we can be your hero.
We got a lot of inventory. We have a lot of inventory across the board. We have a lot of inventory. And I don't think a lot of our supplier families can actually, competitors actually can really state that. And I know that we're going to have a great Q4 because we have product across the board and every price point. So I think that is definitely something where make sure you come to us for the requests and the ideation. And another thing is don't forget to utilize our marketing tools. Again, we keep plugging marketing, but we've got this awesome tool where you can put your client logo on a digital catalog and have it available to you with a link and send it out within an hour. So just like Mel was saying, don't be desperate and not get those ideas out now in August to generate those purchase orders so you're not stressed at the end of the year. However, we're going to have something for you because we are locked and loaded in regards to inventory.
We did get ahead, as Alyssa said, of the game. We placed some really big orders months ago for stock because we want to get ready for Q3 and Q4. In addition to that, to like our core product assortment, We also have HPG exclusives and batch and bodega that have a lot of USA made products and locally made items. We know Q3 and Q4 are big gift season product time. So it's going to be a war of attrition really with a lot of other suppliers. We know that whoever has stock is going to sell the stock. So in preparation for that, we've got locally made food products that can be food gifting products, fresh overnight delivery of cakes and ice cream and bagels and things like this that aren't being shipped on a boat from China, right? Like these are being made locally. So stock isn't as much of an issue there. We've got a USA made product called Fracture, a partnership we have with these really nice frameless glass prints that are made in Florida. So we know that their stock situation is much better than, let's say, someone that has a commodity type tumbler or something, right? So all the things Mel and Alyssa said, plus we're filling the other gaps in where maybe stock goes away somewhere, and we have options upon options for everyone. So we're aware of the supply chain issues, and we've been planning for it for months now, and we feel pretty good about the position we'll be in for Q3 and Q4 this year.
There's been much discussion about outside investment money coming into the industry. How did you guys manage to create a supplier group without creating negative waves in the market?
You mentioned at the beginning, the question was about investment money and how acquisitions can be kind of messy. We've seen some other companies go the wrong way when that happens, but we've really, the group that sort of runs HPG. I would like to think it's the three of us here that run HPG, but obviously that's not true. No, there's a specific approach here where we've got a company like BCG, for example, that is a family-run company still to this day. To your point, Jeff, we've really maintained the integrity of each of these core companies. We didn't bring in a bunch of generalists just to grow the portfolio. It was, let's be specific about who's coming in to the fold so that as a whole, we're like Voltron. You remember the cartoon where all the robots come in and build this really big, strong robot. Each one is strong on their own, but when they come together, it's just a powerhouse. So that was a big attractor for me to come on board here. That was a question actually. I was like, I know that it's an investment company owned kind of thing, but what does it look like? And really from day one, you could ask Chris Anderson, our CEO, this. It's very intentional who comes in and how it's being formed, because that's just going to create better value for our customers in the long run.
Our partners and our investors and our owners have been constantly watching, other suppliers, from afar, long before we've even made them a part of our family. To be able to really make that perfect pie, we are looking at things like core competencies. Is this company going to specialize in something and not just be a jack of all trades? We don't want to lose sight of the individual companies who made themselves, what they are today. Like Hub, we're still producing pens out of Boston, just like we have been for the last 60 plus years. So it is all about finding that perfect fit and being able to, have an angle at just about, every side of what the industry is looking for. So we are trying to build that 360 degree of value where you can feel like coming to HPG is a one-stop shopping experience. And on top of that, always know that you have, a specialist that you can talk to, and just not somebody who's passing the phone. So one thing I love about, our acquisitions is that there's so much mind sharing and there's so much adopting of best practices. Sure, we know that when we onboard a new company, they're going to have weaknesses and they're going to have strengths just like everybody else. How can we take the two and mold them together and really create a powerhouse? And I think that's been part of the fun, is that it creates challenge, but it also makes us more nimble and makes us better able to serve the customer by having solutions always cooking.
We fit the different gamut with our niche products. And when we're looking for that company to come in, I love that, we want to make sure that the customer service is top notch and that they fit with our family dynamic. And, we didn't have hand sanitizer. Oh my gosh, when, COVID hits and, we go out and we get hand sanitizer, we bring Webb in. Webb's been a great fit. We love Dan, love Rena. They're a great company with a great made in the USA product that was relevant in a time of need. Best down in Texas. I don't even think we brought Jacqueline, our great little drinkware company, down in Texas, but Best says yes. And that was their motto before HPG, and that is their motto today. And I love that. No matter anytime I need something out of Best, quick turn, large quantity, custom imprint, I can go to Best and I know 100% without a doubt it's going to happen. And that's just how we have built our brands and how we've made our family bigger. And I kind of think the Best says yes attitude I see in every single line across HPG.
So if my first miracle was simply surviving, my second distributor miracle was changing the buyer's perception of the industry. And given how this industry was commoditizing itself and racing to the bottom with prices, it's hard to blame a buyer for thinking that. But now, coming out of 2020, we are being seen as a frontline marketing resource. The promotional products industry was the advertising industry that pivoted to be what was needed during the worst of times. And buyers see that.
I think that there, has been a long time propensity in some areas of promo that says, well, as long as I just slap X logo on, X product, I've done my job. But that's not really the case. I don't want every promotional product that's given to me unless it has some type of meaning or there's some type of message or I have, some type of positive recall from, the person, the company or, a membership that I belong to. What's going to bring me back? So I like to think about promo as like the engagement ring, right? So it's never just about the pen. It's never just about the tote bag. It's never, just about the t-shirt or the speaker. It's about what it stands for. Are you creating a positive message? Are you sending a signal of, reliability? Are you creating, brand loyalty in doing so? So, from a supplier standpoint, it's helpful to work with distributors who want to dig a little bit deeper, who want to really understand, the purpose behind, the product, really like get below the surface level so that we can better serve the distributor.
I believe that what we've also really excelled at is asking the right questions up front to make sure that we are proposing the correct product for the buyer. Because like Mel said, every promo product doesn't speak to me, but what speaks to me might not speak to Mel. And so we do need to make sure that, we're shortening the sales cycle and shortening the ideation cycle. So we're definitely hitting your product needs first, the second time, if not the first time. But we want to be an extension of our distributor channels family and utilize us as an extension of your team. That's really how we want to move forward. Is definitely, we've been partners before, but I think we are closing that gap of being partners closer knit as we move forward.
Like emotions are hard to really quantify, but we all know that it's true. We all know that when we see a logo on something, it makes us feel a certain way. So that's sort of a core thread that runs through all 10 of our brands, where it's like, how is this going to, and this is how we help our customers, how is this going to make sure that brand is highlighted in the right way at the right time to have the right effect?
And I think that it's truly important to weave all of that into, our communication, whether that be on phone, on the email, in the virtual setting too, because it's again, it's not just about the product. It's about how you delivered, that marketing flyer. Did it just have a bunch of, jargon on it, or did it help to tell a story about that product and its natural habitat? So we really are always thinking about all, of these different, facets that make the buying process, a pleasure for the customer.
Here's my last question. How can you help distributors build on this new buyer perception? How can you help all of us from falling back into commoditizing products and instead continue forward with a focus on the strengths that best define us: relationships, service, and accountability?
Well, I do want to jump in and say that we have lots of new digital tools that are on the horizon as we continue to evolve from, what we've created over the past several months. I know Alyssa already touched on our Catalog Plus and our Video Plus tools, which helps the distributor put their prospect's logo on every product in the catalog to kind of take the guesswork out of, what they like versus what they love, to help, really shorten, that buyer cycle. One of our nearsighted goals is to actually get all of the HPG brands under one shopping site, so that customer doesn't have to divert, to the different brands to, you know, continue their shopping excursion. With, of course, lots of things like fancy filters and feedback options that will really, help them take advantage of the products that we have and make that shopping process easier. We know there's like millions of SKUs out there. We want to make that part of, the selling challenge as easy as possible, with HPG.
We've learned a lot in the last year, and there's a lot of things that we are doing better, and we're not going backwards. We are going forward. And our goal at HPG is to help you with some time savers so you can do your job faster and quicker and have more work-life balance with your family, which is important for all of us. And in addition to the new website launch that Mel's talking about, we do have a new site coming out the end of summer. We're also evolving every day, looking forward to what is needed next in kitting and fulfillment. It's been such a hot topic, and we want to do it better. We are going to invest in that, and that's going to come into the future. We're going to have all of our best HPG products under one roof, where we're going to be able to build kits out of the Beacon facility. So that is something for in the future, but that is definitely something that's always a hot topic of what can we do to do our role better as a supplier for our distributors. And we won't stop, because we're going to keep on adding to those new check boxes as we roll forward.
I think we're a true hybrid company in this time and age. Before COVID, we did things the way everyone always did. We go to a trade show, pitch our stuff, and there's a lot of commoditization of our industry, really. And COVID hits, we all had to figure out how to do our jobs differently. And we were all virtual all the time, scrambling a lot of times at the beginning to figure out how to be effective. So we've learned so many lessons. And I think that HPG is a real good balance of those both. We have the virtual and digital tools to continue a distanced style selling model and really like service for our customers. But also, we've got a whole team of MLRs and national salespeople that are doing some travel now to get in front of those key groups when we need to. So we can kind of check all the buckets for our customers, those that need us in person to show some product, and then those who are cool with us doing our highly effective virtual trade shows. And so that's kind of how we're approaching the future in a time where, a lot of people want it to be like 2019 or before. But a lot of people kind of liked sitting here in shorts, which I have on now at home, and being able to do business in a way effectively without having to, do it the old way. It's sometimes better for the budget, sometimes better for the psyche. But there's got to be a hybrid approach, which is what we're really taking with how we're servicing our customers.
I'd like to thank Mel B, Nick, and Alyssa from HPG Brands for spending time with us today and digging into how all their brands work together. I hope that with more conversations like this, we can strengthen and improve the partnership between distributor and supplier. I think today HPG Brands has definitely shown that they have my back.